Some records were never meant to be reopened. Names were erased. Details were buried. What remains are fragments and unanswered questions. This is Cold Record. In December of 1935, a man checked into a hotel under an assumed name. 3 days later, he vanished. The door to his room was locked from the inside. The windows were sealed. No luggage was missing, and no one ever saw him leave. The man called himself Roland T. Owen. He checked into the President Hotel in Kansas City, Missouri. He paid cash. He carried no identification, and he asked for a room with no view. Hotel staff would later say he seemed calm, polite, quiet. Nothing about him stood out. At first, over the next few days, hotel staff noticed something unusual. Owen repeatedly requested fresh towels, but the towels he returned were never used. Housekeeping also noticed that his room was almost completely dark. The lights were off, the shades were drawn, and he received several phone calls. That seemed to upset him. Each time, his voice became tense. On the third night, a hotel employee heard shouting from Owen's room. A man's voice said, "Don't come in." When staff knocked, Owen answered calmly. He said he was fine, and that he had company. But no one ever saw a second person. The next day, housekeeping knocked again. No answer. The door was unlocked using a master key. Inside, the room was in disarray. Furniture was overturned. Blood stained the walls and bed. Roland T. Owen was found severely injured, but still alive. He never explained what happened. Owen was taken to the hospital. Before dying, he gave conflicting statements. He claimed he had fallen. Then he said he remembered nothing. No suspects were identified. No witnesses came forward. And when police investigated his identity, they found something disturbing. Roland T. Owen did not exist. The hotel room showed no signs of forced entry. The door had been locked from the inside. The windows were sealed. The fire escape was inaccessible. There was no clear way for another person to enter or leave. Yet Owen was clearly attacked. Years later, evidence suggested Owen's real name was Artemis Ogletree. But even that discovery raised more questions than answers. Why was he using a false name? Who was calling his room? And who told hotel staff he had company? The case quietly went cold. A man entered a hotel room alone. He was later found beaten in a locked room, with no explanation. Someone was there, but whoever it was never recorded. No official explanation was ever recorded. Some questions were never answered, and some records were never meant to be closed. If this case stayed with you, there are more waiting to be reopened. New Cold Records are released regularly. Subscribe and continue the investigation.